So let me share with you some things that I really like about ChatGPT and some things that could be improved as well. So think of this as just hitting some highlights and maybe a couple of lowlights. And everything you're going to see in this lesson, you're going to be in greater detail throughout the course, where we have entire lessons and things that build on all this. I think this is a preview or a teaser, but some nice things you can do right away with ChatGPT that maybe get you started fast. So with ChatGPT, you basically enter things here. You enter your prompt and what you want it to do. And one thing that I really is there's things underneath these plus sign. I might say toolbar here and tool. So I'm just going to click on this. You can add photos and files. Again, we're going to demonstrate all these different things. But one thing I like is this icon here, Canvas, where you can really interact with it with writing and coding. Let me put a writing prompt in here, and then I'll do a coding prompt in just a second to show you how this works here. So I basically put in draft a 500-word blog post on the future remote work in 2030. Include an outline at the top, make it engaging for LinkedIn readers, right? And then I just hit submit there. But the thing that's nice about Canvas is it actually breaks it out in its own window. You can see the regular chat here is on the left-hand side, and it's working on this right now. And it's writing my blog post here. And once that's done, writing the blog post, there's going to be some ways that we can really basically interact with it in a better way than if it was just in the chat, where you can be more interactive. So I'm going to go back up here. And you can see we've got our post with the outline. So first I asked for the outline, there's the outline, and then here's our post. We could have that be changed, it's LinkedIn type style, and there we go. And then we could basically keep writing or keep prompting either here or here as well. But the nice thing with Canvas is you can edit right in there. Let's say the future remote work in 2030, maybe I want to change that to 2040. I'm just typing right into ChatGPT and making these changes right here. See, I'm changing that to I'll leave that at 2020. By 2040, it would be this, right? I can make those changes. I could actually ask ChatGPT to make it for me, but you can still interact with it right there. And then again, in the whole lesson around Canvas for writing, we go into great detail on how to use like this tool bar here with these edits that you can do, where you can ask it to add emojis, put some final polish on it, adjust the reading level. I could raise it up to a graduate school level or down to a kindergarten or young person type level. We'll keep it the current one. I like this sometimes to adjust the length. You can make it longer, you can make it shorter, whatever you want to do. And then there's some suggested edits you could do as well. So if you're, let's say, pasting something in here and you want to edit and work with it. But the whole idea is it's going to write with you just like it could write in the regular type of chat, where it could write this exact same thing in the chat. But if you want to edit within ChatGPT, or you like using these tools, and again, we're going to show you how to use all of them in the later lesson, it's just a matter of just click in and it'll just all of a sudden do it. So that's writing. Let me close this here. I'm going to start a new chat here. And now let me do a coding example. So I'm going to do the same thing. I go under my tools. I'm going to go under Canvas here, and this can move around all the time. Sometimes it's over here, sometimes over there, whenever they update the user interface. We'll choose Canvas. You can see it highlighted here. I can turn it off just by clicking on it to basically turn it off, but we'll put that on. And so I got a coding one here for you. So write a complete Python script that generates 12 months of random sales data for 3 fictional products. We're going to do dog, cat, and fish treats. Calculate the total sales for this kind of fictional thing. Normally, you probably upload a file or a document like a CSV or something to have it reference, and it can do that. And we show all that as well. And then add explanatory comments so a beginner could follow along, right? So I'm going to submit the button here, and this is going to show also one of my other favorite things about ChatGPT, which you probably saw before, is the speed. Look how fast this is going. It's writing the code right now, and then I broke it out in this separate window. Again, we could always keep interacting in this window here. And again, we have more detailed lessons on all this works. But right now, I'm just giving you a preview. But it's pretty cool where it's now writing this code, or it's written this code. And the same thing, you can interact with that code and start typing or doing things in here as well too. So maybe I want to adjust stuff. In fact, I'm going to intentionally make some errors here. There, I'm going to just take that off, that where it's S here, you see right in this part, because I'm going to go over to the tool thing, and I'm going to ask it to fix bugs. And I'll hit that, and I'll hit submit. And you can just type that into the prompt, like just say, fix bugs for this code. And you can see it's using this thinking longer for a better answer, because it's really looking through this. But if I wanted to get a quick answer, I could just choose that. Oh, I already did it so fast. Man, see, it's going through, and did it fix that sales thing? It did. See where I had cut off all this right here? And then it basically edited, and it told me I fixed the typo in this variable name, monthly S to monthly sales. See how I intentionally made that error to demonstrate. And you've got other tools you can hear, add comments, add logs, fix the bugs we just did, port to another language. You can hit the button there and it can port to a different language. and then do a review of the code as well too. Again, check out the lesson around Canvas. Later in the course, you can jump right to it if you want to, but this is like a preview of it. So far, I'm liking Canvas for writing. I'm liking Canvas for coding. I'm liking how the speed. Those are 3 things I really like about ChatGPT. Let me start a new chat here. And then another tool I really love is Deep Research. That's one of my favorites too. It gives you so many per month, depending on your plan that you're on. Free, you may or may not have it. Depends on where you're, a lot of different things. So you may or may not have Deep Research, but if you do, I use it all the time. I've chosen Deep Research here. We have whole lessons on Deep Research. You can tell it if you want to search. Automatically, it'll search the web. It's researching the web is what it's doing. But now you have the ability to connect into different things of your own, maybe your Dropbox, whatever, and to add to the report or the research you want to do. So this is for researching stuff. For example, I put in a prompt, identify the top 5 artificial trends expected to shape the workplace in the next 5 years. And I'm asking to do multiple steps for each trend, provide a short, plain English explanation, or you could choose in your language, of course, an example of how it can be applied in a real-world business situation, and list what potential challenges it might create. So with this, where you'll see it'll automatically choose this thinking mode. I'm going to hit submit here, and it's taking that. And so it's going to ask me a question to clarify before it starts this deep research, which is going to take time. If you're looking for a specific industry, or should I focus on general workplace? And let's say I want to say focus on the investment industry, on investing. I'll say investment like stocks. And so what it's done here is it's now starting the research. You can see it started research, and deep research takes time. Sometimes it might take 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Sometimes it might take 30 minutes. So it can take a long time because it's really researching, really going through a lot of sites. We'll have a whole lesson on that too. But for now, let's let that think, and then we will come back to it. And it can operate in the background. So I've opened up another ChatGPT tab here, a blank tab. So while that's thinking in the background, I'm going to go over here and do another example of something that I really like. And that's something that's newer, which is agent mode. So I'm going to choose agent mode. Again, it gives me so many left. I'm going to choose agent mode. And think about this, and you can also choose your different sources here. But this is more than just searching the web. This is where it's going to do multi-step processes for you, more automation. So I'm going to put in here a sample thing that we're launching a new line of organic energy bars, and we're asking to create a 12-week launch playbook. And with this playbook, there's different components, a week-by-week marketing plan and milestones, 2 social media posts per week with captions, a 3-part email series for our existing customers, and a list of potential influencer partners and with reasons why they would be a good fit. So you can see this is multiple steps. I'm going to submit this here. And deep research, this will take time. And you can see it's setting up its desktop. That means it's setting up its own computer, essentially, to do this research for you. And it's thinking and it's creating this plan. So it's basically now working on this, and this will take some time, and we'll come back to this as well. Another thing I like is image creation. So I've asked it to create a cartoon style illustration of a 1950s flying car parked outside a classic American diner. When the neon lights, 2 people in retro outfits enjoying milkshakes and a jukebox visible inside. You'll automatically do that just by telling it, but you can also just choose create image as well. And with that, there can be some different styles and different things, but you could also type this in as well too. You could say make it in a cyberpunk or anime style, whatever it might be. But the cool thing is that it can make these images, which can be good for, whatever you might want to make an image for. Maybe it's for your PowerPoints or something. So this also will take a little bit of time, not too long. It all depends on the complexity of your prompt, but it's getting started and it's going to make our image. So we're going to come back once it's done creating the image. Okay, now it's created the image here. Let's take a look at that. It looks pretty nice. We got our diner here. In the early days of image creation with what was called DALL-E, which is running underneath here, or part of this, you might misspell stuff or really make weird things, but now it's doing pretty good as far as the text that you want in there. It's got our 2 people here enjoying their milkshake in this illustration, and we got our jukebox here, so it did all that. And then here we got our flying car. You can kind of see it's floating off the ground, so it's a flying car. And from there, we can download it, and we can click in there and do some more edits and different things around with it as well, too. And see it a little bigger, too, so it's easier for you to see. Okay, let's go ahead and close that. And that's a nice little image here. I'm going to choose new chat to start a fresh chat. And a couple of things I wish it could do better. One is it can do PowerPoints, but I just wish it would do it better. So I'm going to say create a PowerPoint slide deck that explains servant leadership, right? That style of servant leadership. And you really got to tell the style, like landscape or portrait. I want in a 16:9 style, or format would be a better word. So let me put format in there, and I'll submit that. And the thing is, this will improve, I think, over time. And you can see it pulled into the canvas, actually. to basically create the bullet points for the PowerPoint. And it's giving me some nice bullets. I could ask it to give me some speaker notes, so it's doing that too. So the bullet points could be good. The organization can be good. Having a closing slide or whatever, this type of thing could be good as well. And if I close this, because I can edit this in Canvas as we learned, let me just close this. And now I'm in the regular chat, right? Here's the chat. This is that Canvas thing where I could open that back up in Canvas and work with it in there. But now I'm in the regular chat, so it says it's completed the 12-slide outline. With color points and visuals, you can easily drop into PowerPoint. And a lot of times it'll come up with a suggestion for you if you want to make this into a downloadable slides, which would be great. But if it doesn't, you can just type in, can you create the actual slides? I like it when it gives me suggestions, actually, as far as what I might want to do next, and it anticipates that. So I'm going to say, can you create the actual slides? So it's thinking about that. It's going to take a little extra time to think about that versus something that just comes piling right out. So this might take a moment or two. Okay, and here's our downloadable servant leadership PowerPoint, right? So we can download that. So let me hit the download on that. It should just take a moment. And so far you're probably thinking, what's my problem with the PowerPoint? It gave me some nice bullet points to actually create the slides. Let me download them. What's the big deal here? All right, I've opened my PowerPoint and here's the big deal. Look at this, right? It's not good. Even though ChatGPT can make images, and I think in the future this will be better, but look, it's just not centered right. And it's just not good. Okay, so let me just close this whole thing out and let's go back to this was our deep research, right? What are identify the top 5 artificial intelligence trends. So ChatGPT asked me a clarifying question, and then it took 7 minutes to complete and has 19 sources after a bunch of searching around there. I could click on that and it'll actually tell you what it did as far as its workflow and where it's looking at, some of the different sources or whatever. Again, we have whole lessons around this as far as the deep research. Take a look at that, but it's basically written this for me. It's included some of the citations right in the document, and then I have this whole thing around the deep research did around these trends. And that was a not too hard a request. It took 7 minutes. Some more difficult requests may take 30, 40 minutes, maybe an hour, which in the AI world is quite a bit. And then down here you can always see all your sources too. So I just clicked on sources on the bottom, and it's got all these different citations that it mentioned it looked at. But because that's using more reasoning and thinking, that's going to take a little more time. Same thing with the agent mode where it's doing multi-steps. If I go back to this, it's going to create this detailed 12-week launch playbook, and it's going to do all these kind of steps I wanted to do. And did it do all these steps? So it's giving me some market context, strategic foundation, okay. This is the week-by-week marketing plan, which was what I was looking for. So it's got a nice little table in terms of the marketing plan. I could copy that table, for example, and paste that into a PowerPoint or whatever I might want to do. So here we've got the whole marketing plan all built in there, from things from launch week to post-launch week. We've got some social post suggestions. Here's a 3-part email assist series for existing customers, which is what I asked for, as opposed to newer prospects. So it's giving me a teaser, an exclusive access, and then a launch announcement. So it talks about timing and audience and purpose and content. And again, you can copy that all over that table, nicely formatted. Potential influencer partners. So it searched the web all over and was looking for potential people who are wellness influencers or influence around those things. And so you get a nice summary there. Could you imagine searching all over the internet to find folks, where this is just going to give you a list? And you could ask follow-up questions, say, give me 10 more potential influencers, and it would do it. And then a nice little summary here as well. So with all of this, the key thing is we're going to talk about all this in the lessons that are coming up. Just think of this as a teaser in terms of what you can do with ChatGPT and some of the favorite things I like and a couple things that maybe I didn't like as much, mostly that PowerPoint thing. I'm looking forward to when that improves in the future. That can be quite a game changer if you make a lot of PowerPoints.